Hello students, in this video I am going to explain topic program relocation from machine dependent assembler feature, which is the continuation of previous video. This discussion about program relocation, it needs a object program. So we will start with the object program. Suppose we are given one SICXE code, and for that we are supposed to write object program. So how do we start? First we will keep on assigning the addresses. So these are the addresses. So the starting address depends on what value is used in the assembler directive start. So here it is with a 0. So assignment starts with a 0, and you have to keep on incrementing these addresses depending on which format is used. Here format 2, so it increment by 2. Here format 3, so increment by 3. Here format 4, so increment by 4. So you observe that there is no object code for there is no address for base total because it is an assembler directive. So once we are done with this uh, addresses, then you are supposed to write these object codes. Then after that, one more question is asked, that is write the symbol table. This is the symbol table. So what is there in the symbol table? You will have a symbol name and the values. What are the various symbols we have? All those you write, and along with the addresses assigned to them. Say for example, loop is assigned with the address 009, so that you have to write. So like that you write all the symbols along with the addresses assigned to them. Once you are done, you have to write the object program. So this is what is the object program. See, in this object program, it will also add one more record that is called as a modification record that begins with the letter M. So now why this what is the use of this modification record? That is what is the discussion now. Now see here, it is based on this concept that is called as a program relocation. We will see first one term that is called as a absolute address. We will see the first term that is called as a absolute address. What is that absolute address? So you see this object code. In this object code we have one this marked one, that is 01788. What is that? This is nothing but absolute address. What is that absolute address? It is nothing but an address. You see, 1788 is one of the address that is assigned to the program instructions or maybe to the symbols. 1788 is an address, and you are using that in the instruction. So this is called as a absolute address 1788. See, this absolute address you will find in only in case of instructions which are assembled based on format 4, nowhere else. Okay, so if it is a format 4, then you will have a absolute address in this SICXE program. Okay, so this absolute address create a problem in some cases. When is that when is that case? You see, the output of a assembler is given to one more system software that is called as a loader. What that loader does, it loads those object codes into the memory. Since it is start 0, so it will start to load starting from 0. Okay, first object code in 2, second object code in 5, next object code. Okay, now if the loader finds that this memory is not free, it will load at some other starting address. Say for example, at starting address 2000. So at 2000, first object code, next likewise 2002, next machine code. Okay, so now you can see that 5 corresponds to 2005, 1788 corresponds to 3788. So now here this loader loads at some other location. While loading, it will do one more operation that is called as a modification. What is that modification? Here, whenever there is a absolute address such as this 1788, it will be modified to this address 03788. Why? Because 1788 corresponds to 3788. Okay, so that is new address. So that new address should be used in the object code. How it is got? So this 1788 is added with the new starting address 2000, and that result is 3788 is used. So this is called as modification. So program relocation means load the program wherever the memory space is free. Load the program wherever the memory space is free, and whenever there is an absolute address, you perform this modification by adding this new starting address. So this is nothing but program relocation. Program relocation means load the program into the memory wherever there is a free space by performing the modification. Now, how the loader comes to know that this has to be modified. Okay, so this will be known to the assembler by using one particular record in the object program that is called as a modification record. So assembler, it adds one new record that is called as modification record to indicate to the loader that modification has to be performed. So now let us see the format of modification record. Okay, now one more point here, the object program with this modification records, we call it as a relocatable object program. Relocatable object program means it can be loaded anywhere. Okay, not only at the specified address, it can be loaded anywhere, and wherever the modification is needed, that is indicated by modification record. Okay, now we will see the format of this modification record. This modification record has these different fields. Column 1 contains letter M. 2 to 7 fields contain the starting location of the address field to be modified. This is what is starting location. And 8 and 9 column contain length of the address field to be modified, and that too in a half bytes. Let me explain with respect to this example. Okay, here we have one modification record that is this. It starts with a column 1 with the M. Next, why do we have this 000006? Okay, this indicates the starting address of the absolute address. Starting address, see, this has to be modified. What is its starting address? Okay, the starting address, you see, this instruction you see, plus LDB will be having a address 5. Okay, that is 69 is loaded at 5. 10 is loaded at 6, at address 06, and 06 is nothing but starting address of this absolute address. I hope you have understood. Plus LDB instruction address starts with 5. In that we have a object code contains 69. 69 has address 5. Okay, next 10 has the address 06, and 06 is the starting address of this absolute address. Starting address of this address to be modified. So that is what we will be having in modification record. Okay, now we have one more field in this, that is column 8 and 9. What that column 8 and 9 contains, length of the address field to be modified, and that is in a half bytes. Okay, so in this case we have a 05. Why it is a 05? We will say that here it is the length of the address. What is the length? See, you know that each digit is a hexadecimal digit. Each digit, how many hexadecimal digits are there that I have highlighted, which is nothing but absolute address? We have 5 hexadecimal digits, and you know that each hexadecimal digit is of 4 bits, and 4 bit is nothing but half byte. So we are going to modify 5 digits, each digit of 4 bits. 4 bit is nothing but half byte. So length of the address to be modified is 5 half bytes, 5 hexadecimal digits. Each hexadecimal digit is of 1 half byte. So 5 hexadecimal digit, 5 half bytes. So that is what we have in this modification record. M6 stands for starting address of the address field to be modified. 05 is the length of the address field to be modified in half bytes. Okay, let me consider one more example. If this is a one more SICXE code, okay, write the object program for that. So first you will be writing this location counter values, then you will be writing object codes. You observe that we have two instructions based on format 4. So you will have two absolute address. So you will have two modification records, and you observe that first modification record is 007. Okay, why it is 007? Here you see plus LDB, its starting address is 006. Okay, and the address to be modified is what? It starts with 10. 10 will be at the address 07. So that is why we have here 007. And why it is the 05? 5 half bytes we are going to modify. One more modification record you can observe here, that is 17 based on this. Okay, so here plus STA address is 16. Okay, so 0F will be at address 16. Next field, next values 10 will be at address 17. So starting address of this to be modified is whatever I have highlighted. Starting address is 17. Okay, and length of this address field to be modified in half bytes is 05. So in this you will have two that is modification record, and these are the contents of those modification record. Let me consider one more example. If this is the if this is the SICXE code to be written, then first thing is you will be writing the location counter values, and you observe that we have one plus instruction, that is a format 4, and this will be the result of the machine, that is object code, and this is the absolute address. So you will have one modification record. This is what one modification record, and here you can see that it is 30. Why it is 30? You can see here 102F. 102F is the 3B. 102F is the address for 3B, and 10, okay, will be at 102F plus 1, that is nothing but 1030. So that is why you have here that is the starting address as 0030. Okay, next we will continue with the next concept, that is machine independent assembler features. We have all these machine independent assembler features. Machine independent assembler features means these are the features that you can find on any machine, not only on SIC or SICXE, you can find it on any machine. So these are the features that are found on any machine. These are the in general features, and so these are the different independent machine features, and how the assembler will use this to perform the assembly, that is to convert into the machine code, assembly language into the machine code. Starting with the literals. What is literal? Literal is a constant that is having a prefix equal. See, this is one example. LDA equal C EOF. EOF is a literal. C stands for that is a character constant. X stands for hexadecimal constant, and if that constant is preceded with a equal, then we say that it as a literal. Okay, now what is the use of this literal? Literal allows to write the constant value of a constant in the assembly instruction itself. You observe this next slide. Here we have here literal constant. Literal is a constant whose value you can write along with the assembly instruction. Okay, but you observe this example. Here LDA 5 we have. What is the 5? 5 is again a constant with a value 5. 5 has been defined as a symbol with the constant 5. So in this we have a constant, but its value is defined somewhere else. 5 is a constant, its value is defined somewhere else, but here the value of the constant is defined in the instruction itself, that is in the assembly instruction. Here somewhere else, but here in the same assembly instruction. So that is what do you mean by literal. Now we will consider, this is one example program that is from the textbook. We have here LDA, this literal. Okay, and there is a one statement we have LTORG. I'll discuss about that later, but for the timing you remember that this is used to assign the address to the literal. Okay, and here we don't have LTORG. Okay, fine. Now we will see the difference between literals and immediate operands. The difference is that you see this is the assembly instruction LDA #3. This is immediate operand, and when this is assembled, this is a resulting object code. When this is assembled, the value of the immediate operand you can find in the instruction, in the assembly, in the machine code. Value of the immediate operand you will find it in the machine code. Say value of the immediate operand you will find it in the machine instruction. That is what is immediate operand. But how about literals? If this is the example LDA CEOF, in the object code you see 2010. What is the 2010? It is not the value of the constant. In the machine instruction, the target address is used for the generation of the machine instruction. In the machine instruction you don't have the literal constant value. EOF is not a part of machine instruction, but here immediate operand will be the part of the machine instruction. EOF literal is not a part of the machine instruction. That is what is the difference. The difference between literal and immediate operand is immediate operand will become the part of the machine instruction. Literal will not be the part of the machine instruction. Okay. Now we have one concept that is called as a literal pool. What is literal pool? Literal pool is a memory area containing literals. As I told, literals will be assigned the memory location. See that memory location, that memory area we call as a literal pool. Normally this literal pool will be at the end of the program. At the end of the program, here you can see we have one literal, one more literal, one same literal, and its memory location will be at the end of the program. You can see 1076. What is 1076? It is the address assigned to the literal. Literals are reserved the memory space, and where the memory space is reserved, usually at the end of the program. At the end of the program. At the end, in this example, 1076 is the address, and that is assigned to the literal. You can also reserve the memory space for the literal. That is, you can have a literal pool other than at the end. Okay, that is by making use of assembler directive LTORG. LTORG is an assembler directive that is used to reserve memory space for the literal other than the end of the program. Okay, that is literal pool can be at some other location, not at the end. You see this example, we have a LTORG. You can observe this. We have a LTORG. What this LTORG does, it reserves the memory space for this literal. We have literal here, equal C EYF. What is that equal C EYF? It is a literal. And for this, where the memory space is reserved, it is reserved by LTORG. What is that address? The address is 002D. And this address is used for generating the machine code. 2010 is what? The displacement that is calculated based on this target address 002D. What is this target address? It is the address assigned to literal, that is EOF. So this is how the machine code is generated based on the address that is assigned by LTORG. If LTORG is not there, as in this case we don't have LTORG, if LTORG is not there, the literals will be assigned address at the end of the program. Suppose in this case this is the last address after the end, and this address is assigned to literal 05. Okay, now how the literals are assembled? For this, it makes use of one table that is called as a lit tab. The lit tab contains these different fields: literal name, operand value, length, address. Okay, here I have taken one simple example. LDT equal CEOF. This is a literal. If it is given to the pass 1, what is done? In the pass 1, all these addresses are assigned. As we know, these addresses are assigned. Okay, and whenever it finds this literal, it makes these three entries: the name of the literal CEYF and its a value in the ASCII. It's a character constant. Its value is nothing but ASCII value. And what is the length? Total 3 characters are there, so that is entered. These 3 entries are done during the pass 1. One more, that is the even address. So this address is made when it finds a end assembler directive. In pass 1, when it finds a end, at that point, what is the location counter value? That is 1050, and that will be entered as the address for the literal EOF. As I told, in this we don't have LTORG. If LTORG is not there, the last address is assigned. In this, the last address is 1050, and that will be assigned to literal EOF. So this will be 4 entries will be done during the pass 1, and during pass 2, okay, whenever it finds a literal, it will be assembled based on PC relative addressing mode by using the address that is entered into the lit tab. So this is about a literal implementation. The same is explained here in what is done in pass 1 and pass 2. Okay, we move on to the next machine independent assembler features. The symbol defining statements. We are going to consider one assembler directive that is called as a EQU. EQU, what it does, it is used to define the symbols and specify their values. For example, you can see MaxLN EQU 4096. What this does, it defines this symbol. Defining the symbol means entering into the symbol table along with its value. You can see defining the symbol means entering that symbol into the symbol table along with its value. And one more point, you remember, this EQU doesn't reserve the memory space. No memory space is reserved for max len. Only the value is assigned. It defines, means enters that into the symbol table and assigns this value. No memory space is reserved for max len. Okay, and this value can be, it can be a constant, it can be a constant, it can be other symbol, it can be expression also. Now what is the use of this EQU? It improves the readability. Means suppose if I have this statement plus LDT hash 4096. Here in this statement we are not clear what is the meaning of this 4096. Instead of this we can go for this plus LDT hash max len. What is max len? Max len has been defined using EQU. Now at this line we are more clear that max len may be some maximum length, but at this point we are not clear what is 4096. So EQU statement improves the readability. It makes the source program easier to understand. Okay, now these are the other examples. You can also have a symbol that is star. Star stands for current value of the location counter. If the current location counter value is 1000, that will be assigned to buff n. You can also use another symbol that is alpha. Okay, in this way alpha is defined already with RSW and its value is 2000, that is location counter value. And if you have written that beta EQU alpha, then whatever is the value of alpha is assigned to beta. Now we have one more similar directive, that is ORG. Okay, it is also used to define the symbol, but it is indirectly used to assign the values to the symbols. Let us see later. Okay, see, there is another use of this ORG. It is used to reset the value of the location counter. ORG value. Suppose if I have written ORG 11,000, then location counter value will be changed to 11,000. Here location counter value will be changed to value of A. Now I have told one more. It is used to indirectly assign values to symbols. Here suppose if I have ORG 1000, ORG 1000 means location counter value will be changed to 1000, and that is okay. That value 1000 is assigned to ST. You are going to indirectly assign value to symbols. Indirectly, ST is now assigned to value that is 1000. So that is ORG. Now we have one more topic, that is expression. In EQU you can write expressions, such expressions. Okay, and in these expressions you can have these different operators, and in the expressions you can have constants such as to. You can have user defined symbols such as buff and buffer, buff and these symbols, they can be absolute terms or relative terms. What are these absolute terms and relative terms? Absolute term means it is a symbol whose value is independent of the program location, program address. Say for example in this expression n is absolute term. N is a absolute term. Why n is absolute term? Value of n is what? 5, and it is independent of the program address. So n is absolute term. What is relative term? In this example you see ADR is a relative term. Why it is relative term? Because its value is dependent on the program address. You see here ADR RSW1. What do you mean by that? ADR is reserved one word, and it will be having some address. Say for example 1000. Okay, it will be reserved an address with the it will be reserved one word with the address 1000. What is 1000? It is address. So ADR is a relative term whose value depends on the address. So such terms we call them as relative terms. relative terms are the one whose value is dependent on the program location, program address. Okay, so in the expression you can have absolute terms and relative terms. There is one more small topic. Okay, we have two types of expressions: absolute expression, relative expression. What do you mean by absolute expression? Absolute expression means it uses only absolute terms. It can also have relative terms, and those relative terms must occur in pairs with the opposite signs, but no multiplication and division. You consider this example. Okay, that is max by 2. Okay, here here this is not a absolute expression because it has this division operator. You see one more example, that is b2 minus b1 plus 10. This is absolute expression. Why? Because we have two relative terms. That is, relative terms are appearing in a pair, but they are appearing with opposite signs. Okay, absolute expression can contain only absolute terms. It can also have relative terms, but they should appear in pairs. B2, B1 are relative terms because they are defined using RESW, because they will be reserved with an address. Okay, so B1, B2 are relative terms and they are appearing in pair and with the opposite signs. So this is the absolute expression. There is one more, relative expression. What is relative expression? It contains relative terms, only relative terms, and the relative terms that occur in pairs, they should have opposite signs, and the remaining unpaired relative term should have the positive sign. And again, we should not have a multiplication and division. One example, see, this is relative expression. Why relative expression? These two relative terms are in pair with the opposite signs. One is plus, one is plus, one is minus, and remaining relative term is having positive sign. Okay, and these are the expressions with the errors. Why? You see this expression, there are two relative terms, but they do not have opposite signs. You see this another second one, there is unpaired relative term. Okay, but it should be with the positive. You can see here the condition, remaining unpaired term must have positive sign. Here it is unpaired relative term but with a negative sign. So this is invalid expression. Again, this is also invalid expression because it has multiplication. So these are the types of the expressions that you can use in EQU assembler directive. Okay, so here this information about this terms, whether it is relative term, whether it is absolute term, can be stored by the assembler in the symbol table by having one field that is called as a type. Type can be R or A. R stands for relative, A stands for absolute. So that information can be stored in the symbol table while computing the results of the expressions, okay, defined in EQU assembler directive. Okay, so we are done with these different topics. We are left out with program blocks and control sections, that I'm going to do it in the next video. Thank you.